All right, we're recording now.
That's cool.
Open Mat Chronicles is a podcast I was just listening to and seeing what they're talking about.
That's cool.
What the hell?
I seen a little clip earlier from a jujitsu podcast, and one of the things I noticed that I just saw from the little clip, it was a shout out to all the wives, girlfriends, and spouses of jujitsu guys. And he goes, because everybody knows class lasts an hour.
Yeah.
Goes, and we tell them we're going to be gone an hour. And he goes, well, we're gone 4 hours. And he goes, because, we do the class and then we hang out afterwards and we talk. And he goes, that's the best part, the hanging out after. So it was a shout out to all the wives, girlfriends, and spouses and whatnot for putting up with us and allowing us to go hone our craft. So I thought it was kind of funny. But that's a big part of it, too, is the camaraderie, I think. So.
I've been, oh, there he is. Hey, what's up? Yeah. What's up? It's Bradley.
What's up,
well, hey, what's up, dude?
How you doing, man?
We got Good. Bradley on, Mr. Bradley Rawlings on the cast.
We got the we got one of the toughest guys at Conquest. How you doing, man?
Good.
That's rad. I was expecting a different.
I kind of hit it last time I talked to you briefly. What's your personal training regimen? How do you study and how and who are you studying and who do you train with on a personal?
So, when I first got into it, I had a Monday through Friday schedule, but I got fortunate now. I just work Monday through Thursdays, so every Friday is study day for me. It's just me at the house. My wife works, so I get to pretty much sit down and research whoever I'm wanting to look into. A lot of what I first started studying was Lachlan Giles, Craig Jones, which kind of influenced me into the leg game quite a bit. My current regimen is every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday I lift weights, and I do like the bro split. So Mondays back and buys, Wednesdays chest and tries, Fridays legs, and then Saturdays whatever I'm really feeling if I like to get heavy on something. And then I usually train 5 days a week minimum, so Monday through Thursday. And then
so what are your hours that you I know you train on do you train solely at Conquest?
Yeah. Conquest is pretty much the only place I go. I do some open mats occasionally. I'll run out to like Python on Sundays or CKA, or recently we were just invited to the Forge for their Pan Am's camp. So we'll probably start hitting them up on Sundays at 12:30 or Saturdays at 12:30.
On Saturdays at 12:30.
That's awesome.
And do you jog or anything? How do you just try to eat right and just train?
I eat pretty well. My biggest deal when it comes to conditioning is gonna be my assault bike. So I used to hit it at the gym all the time. I got addicted to it, so I bought one and put it in my garage.
The assault bike is you hit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. What is an assault bike? I'm not familiar.
It's like a fan bike, Echo bike, or.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
I do a 2-minute free ride, 4 minutes of interval riding, so it's 10-20, 10 hard, 20 seconds of just go, and then I do that for 4 minutes, and I'll do 2 minutes of free riding again, and then follow up by another 4 minutes.
Are you trying to time those intervals out with to coincide with jiu-jitsu rounds? Anything like that?
Kind of, yeah. I usually do like a 6-minute round is usually what we roll, right? So I get used to that.
Yeah, I got to where I would try and do that myself and like not really go the whole time, but consistently at a good pace, and then have those bursts because I want to be able to have that, during the matches and still have my wind afterwards.
Exactly.
Maybe go 30 seconds, 45 seconds hard, or maybe the last 45 real hard type of a thing. But yeah, I like to have that. You can consistently get your cardio up, but you have to account for those moments where your heart rate's really up, and you got to exert a little bit of extra energy. So that's cool. Yeah, I was real curious about that because that's kind of what I do for my cardio too, or just do longer rounds as much as possible. Maybe not as hard, a little bit lighter, but maybe just trying to do longer rounds so I could be more effective in the short time.
Another thing I like to try and do is breathing exercises when it comes to after I get done with the bike. So I hop in the sauna immediately. I like to get that hot air in my lungs and kind of expand my lungs. And I'll do 10 seconds in, 10 seconds hold, 10 seconds out.
Okay.
I've seen some stuff like that. I've done a few of those, but it's hard to, I don't know. I guess I just don't think about doing them that often.
Yeah, it's hard to remember to do it, actually.
Yeah, it's not a normal exercise you think about, as opposed to your exterior physical body, or you're trying to condition yourself for your heart rate, or something like that.
Yeah.
Holding your breath for extended periods of time, I think definitely helps, especially when you're caught in a submission. It gives you that moment to where you realize you don't have to breathe. Maybe for a certain
you don't
amount
panic.
of time. Yeah, you can take that moment and you can think a little bit, and you're like, okay, maybe in 30 seconds or 15 seconds I can take a breath.
Where you get Kevin on top of you, all that weight on you.
Hey, Brad, I want to ask you this: how do you? All right, I remember one time we were rolling, and I was happy I got the takedown. Right. Well, I kind of had, but you kept working, and you drug my arm across, and so I felt that it was better for me to give up my back because my arm was already too far over. So how do you stay focused on what you're doing, even if facing a bad situation?
And I think that's just pure grit. One thing, like wrestling mentality, right? When you wrestle, first person to stop moving is going to lose that match. So you just stay going. I mean, a lot of people, I think, whenever they go to tournaments or they get put in bad positions, they have a mental game. They just give up at that instant. And I've learned that just keep going. I can look at a scoreboard and see that I'm down 12 points. The match isn't over until the time goes off.
Oh man, I had that in my first match, man. In my first tournament, ever. I had that moment. There was 2 minutes, 12 seconds left. I was down, on points, getting just dominated by a wrestler. And I had that moment for a second. I was like, I want to quit. Like, I can just get out of this and start the next match,
Yeah.
But then I thought, you know what? I'm not gonna fucking quit in front of everybody. It's not that bad. I just gotta take that moment and get through it, man.
I feel like that's what breaks a lot of people.
Yeah, that uncomfortableness that I tell people all the time. It used to happen like when I box or kickbox. You take that shot sometimes, and your body will want to start shutting your brain down, But if you can get past that 1 second, maybe 2 seconds of panic, and can realize it's only a moment, you can fucking get past it, man. So the grit, I notice grit is a lot of people I notice don't have that. So that's not something you can train. I think you have to kind of have it and earn it, throughout your time. So that's totally rad, man. That's totally rad. So you train, how long you been doing jiu-jitsu, period, Bradley?
I've been doing jiu-jitsu, so 2 years in August.
2 years in August. And you're a blue belt? Is that what you are, a blue belt? Wow, man.
Four stripes?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
big time, man. That's awesome. So when you first started out, what was your commitment to jiu-jitsu as far as time-wise go? Right off the bat, as soon as you went, you're like, man, I'm going to go every day. You only could train a couple times a week. How does that
Man, I jumped pretty much headfirst into it.
It's just as much as possible, huh?
Yeah. So at that point, I was me and my wife had been married for over a year, and we had just had a baby. I think our kid was like 2 months old. I really started getting into it, and then so at first it was kind of rough on us, but she got used to it, and she also likes to see me happy, right? So jiu-jitsu is one of those sports that makes me extremely happy. We just had a kiddo again 6 weeks ago now. And
did you really? I had no idea, man. Congratulations, dude. I had no idea. That's amazing.
Third boy, man. And that's really what drove me to the sport was my oldest son got to the age where sports were coming along, and I wanted to get him into something that would build his confidence. For me, wrestling is something that like built confidence and made me feel comfortable going anywhere and having conversations with anybody, right? I'm not afraid to have a conversation with anybody.
Yeah, not a shy
so
guy.
I wanted to build that same confidence in him, and I got him jiu-jitsu
Okay.
as soon as I could. And once he got into it, I got to my own head and started thinking, man, I want my kid to compete and do well.
Right,
And
right.
I'm going to try and convince him to do that. Well, I might as well get into it myself, and I'll show him, lead by example.
Yeah,
Exactly.
man, that's the perfect thing to do, man. I think
It is. It is.
it's
And what's your son's name again?
Brentley?
Huh?
Brentley?
Oh, Brentley.
Yep. Yeah,
What
he
about
just
the young?
competed this weekend as
dude.
well.
Let me ask, man. She want to be you want to be a Bradley and she wanted a Brent, and you guys just compromised, or what? I'm just guessing. I'm curious.
Something like it. So
Yeah.
he's actually from a prior relationship. Her name was Brittany.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
And then just kind of blended it together and made Brentley.
I got you, man. I wasn't trying to get personal. I just thought it's
Oh, you're
pretty
all
cool.
good. You're all good.
I
No,
was
I'm open book.
curious. Sometimes people do that, like, hey, let's just mesh them together, and see what we can come up with. Man, I've met your kid. He's a cool little dude, man. He's got the fire. I could tell.
Yeah,
He's got that fire. It's really cool to like lead by example too. That's the perfect way. They can see your joy in it, and how much fun it is for you, type
Yeah,
thing.
it's something. That's something y'all can bond over. Y'all can bond with. But what? Did you go to class today?
Yeah. 7:30 every Wednesday, man. I'm there for leg day.
Oh, they
Yeah.
still do that? For some reason, I was thinking they didn't. Yeah, I never see a lot of you guys, but I guess that's probably why you guys are going to the 7:30. I'm going to the earlier classes and whatnot.
Yeah. Well,
So
I work, so I wake up 4:30 in the morning for work, and I work from 5:30 to 4. So
and then
my class options is 5:30 to pretty much 7:30.
yeah, and then you coach a kids class, is it?
Yeah. So Tuesdays and Thursdays I help coach kids and juniors class.
Kids and juniors. What time do they do that?
5:30 and 6:30.
5:30 and 6:30 at Conquest. All right, that's really
Mm-hmm.
cool, man. How do you like? Have you trained adults and kids, or just kids? As far as
Just
teaching?
kids. Just kids.
Kids.
Man, I got a hard time trying to coach adults and not have an established myself in the sport too much. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I was curious, like, if you had a preference, to coach, kids or adults.
Yeah. How is it working with? I've never coached children before. This is this gig right here is my first time ever being a real permanent jiu-jitsu coach. But how are you liking the kids training program over there?
Man, I'll be honest with you. I feel like some days I learn more from watching those kids than I do from instructionals of any kind. Honestly, I love it. I like building them up and establishing that grit in those kids, right? A lot of those kids come in there and they're in there because their parents are forcing them and they really don't even want to participate in the sport. But then you start lighting some fire in those kids and you see that other side of them come out and that confidence coming together over time.
Yeah.
It's amazing to watch.
Man, that's rad. Dude, they impress me sometimes. I'm sitting over there in a 5:30 class like yesterday, man. They were doing takedowns and, having a score on the takedown. Man, multiple times they came around to the mat right by me. Just give it every bit they got, man, and enjoying every bit of it. So that, to me, that told me, not only they were learning, but they were having a good time, and that came from the top down, man. So it told me you guys were doing a good job with the kids, man, and they were learning, they were having fun, they were living their life and they were enjoying it, man. And I got joy out of seeing it too, just from the outside. So just from what I see, man, I'm really impressed. I know it's hard to get a kid to do anything. I'm a granddad and I've got multiple kids myself. Man, I don't know how you guys get them to listen. You know what I mean? Follow instructions, that type of thing. With that,
we've got a pretty darn good kids program as it is, man. It's impressive. We went out this last tournament and ended up leaving with a winning record amongst all of our kids.
Oh, really?
We had Bree and John both won their challenger brackets. William won his weight bracket and placed second in his challenger brackets. Brentley placed third in both of his brackets. I mean, we had a pretty good turnout for kids.
Man, that's awesome, man.
Addison placed third as well.
The kids really show out when it's tournament time, man. Did you compete this weekend as well?
Yeah, I competed. I placed third 3 brackets. I had my challenger brackets. I placed third in both of those. Lost my first match. I had a gentleman named Terez Wilson. He's a big boy.
Yeah.
He's about 200.
Challenger is the same belt, but all the weights, right? Is that how it works?
Yeah, it's open weight. So for AGF, it's 175 and above.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it'd be any of those. What's your weight right now? What are you, about 200?
I'm like 190 to 195. I think after practice today, I was like 194.
Yeah.
I'll wake up probably 191.
Yeah, that's cool.
Now, did you get
big strong boy?
Now, did you get beat by points, or what happened during the match that you?
Nah. Terez got me, man. He so the first match he ended up catching me with an Americana from side control, and then the second match I lost by Ezekiel choke. But it's one of those deals that you can't let him get on top of you, and I didn't have anything to the table.
Did you pull guard or?
No. First match I went for the wrestling exchange. I got to the single leg, wasn't able to finish, transferred to the back, and he was able to get an underhook across. So I shot an Uchi and just wasn't able to get a finish.
Okay.
When you have a tournament, do you have a finish in mind or something that